Greetings. In this lesson, we will discuss O'Connor's better English pronunciation, but before we do that, let's review some of the previous essential concepts. In the previous lesson, we discussed the difference between letters and sounds, and we said that letters are marks on papers, sounds are spoken. Letters make no noise, sounds do make noise. Letters are perceived by the eye, sounds are perceived by the ear. In English, there are 26 letters but 44 phonemes. Now, what is meant by the term phoneme? Phoneme is a term which refers to a set of similar sounds which contrasts with other such sets to differentiate words. Phonemes are divided into two types, consonants and vowels. Consonants are one of a set of sounds in which air from the lungs is seriously obstructed in the mouth and which occurs in similar positions in words, while vowels, on the other hand, are one of a set of voice sounds in which air leaves the mouth with no interference and which occurs in similar position in words. Let's stop for a moment and analyze the previously mentioned definitions of consonants and vowels. When we define consonants, we said that they are a set of sounds. Mind you that when it comes to phonation or the vibration of the vocal folds, we have two types of sounds. Either voiceless sounds, it means that when produced there is no vibration within the vocal folds, or voice sound, which means that when you produce them, there will inevitably be some sort of vibration within the vocal folds. Now, on the other hand, vowels, when we define them, we said that they are a set of voiced sounds. Now, here's the catch, a set of voiced sound. It means that all the vowels of English are voiced. That's to say, when you produce an English vowel, there will be vibration within the vocal folds. When it comes to the production of consonant and vowel sounds, consonants seriously obstruct the flow of air as it passes from the lungs to the mouth. Whereas in the case of vowels, vowels have little or no obstruction to the flow of air as it passes from the lungs to the mouth. Number 3. Consonants can be oral or nasal. In the previous lessons, we mentioned that the human vocal apparatus has two cavities, an oral cavity and a nasal one. Some consonant sounds are produced when the pulmonic airstream passes through the oral cavity, and other consonant sounds are produced when the pulmonic airstream passes through the nasal cavity. This is in the case of consonant sounds, but in the case of vowel sounds, all vowel sounds are produced orally, that's to say, by means of the mouth. Number 4. Consonants occupy the margins of a syllable, whereas vowels occupy its center. Although the notion of a syllable sounds strange to you since it was not explained in the previous lectures, but it will be explained thoroughly in the next lectures. And finally, consonants are 24 in total, whereas vowels are 20 in total. At this point, let's go back in time and let me remind you of the exact categorization of the English phonemes. Now, we said that the total number of English phonemes is 44, divided into two, consonants making a total of 24 phonemes and vowels making a total of 20 phonemes. Now, consonant sounds are subcategorized into 5 different types according to their manner of articulation. Now, you recall that there are 4 criteria for the description of consonants, and those are place of articulation, manner of articulation, phonation, that's to say voices or voiced, and strength, meaning fortis or leanness. Traditionally, consonants are divided according to their manner of articulation. So we have 5 subcategories. The first one is plosives, and they make a total of 6 phonemes, fricatives, making a total of 9 phonemes, nasals, 3 phonemes, gliding, 4 phonemes, and affricates, 2 phonemes. And we have already covered those sounds in the previous lectures. For this lecture, we will concern ourselves with the description of vowel sounds. In a nutshell, vowels are divided into 2 subcategories. The first is pure vowels. Pure vowels are sometimes called monophthongs or simple vowels. Now, what is a pure vowel? A pure vowel is a vowel which has a single perceived auditory quality, or in simple terms, it is a vowel which remains constant and does not glide, and it is perceived as one movement. The other subcategory, the second one, is diphthongs. Diphthongs are also called complex vowels, and they are defined as vowels in which there is a smooth glide from one vowel position to another, the whole glide acting like one of the long simple vowels. Back to pure vowels. Pure vowels make a total of 12 phonemes and are in turn divided into two types, short and long. Now the name speaks for itself. When we say short, it refers to a vowel that has a short auditory duration, and when we say long, it refers to a vowel that has a long auditory duration. Let's not forget that short vowels make a total of 7 phonemes and long vowels make a total of 5 phonemes. With this video lesson, I've attached a useful tool that will help you listen to each and every one of those vowel sounds over and over again, so make sure that you check it. Diphthongs are also divided into two subcategories, and those are centering and closing. Centering diphthongs make a total of 3 phonemes and closing make a total of 5 phonemes. Now the reason for calling them centering and closing will be revealed when we explain them in details in the next lesson, so at this point let's just take it as simple as that. After defining vowels and their subcategories, let's talk about the phonetic description of vowels. There are 3 criteria for the description of vowels, and those are: number 1, the shape of the tongue, number 2, position of the tongue, and number 3, shape of the lips. In relation to the shape of the tongue, that's to say front or back, it refers to the specific part of the tongue between a front and back which is raised the highest. When it comes to the position of the tongue, that's to say close or open, it refers to the vertical distance between the upper surface of the tongue and the palate. Finally, in relation to the shape of the lips can have different shapes in the articulation of vowel sounds. Those are spread lips, neutral, or rounded. For the purpose of classifying vowels, phoneticians came up with a very accurate way for the matter. They developed a set of vowels which are not the vowels of any particular language and arranged them in a close-open front-back diagram and called them cardinal vowels. These cardinal vowels are a standard reference system. It has become traditional to locate cardinal vowels on a 4-sided figure, a quadrilateral, and the design here is the one recommended by the IPA, which stands for the International Phonetic Association. The exact shape that you use for the purpose of description is of little importance. You can use a square or a rectangle instead, but for academic reasons, let's just follow the shape that is recommended by the IPA. To fully grasp the notion of the quadrilateral that we will use for the description of vowel sounds, let's analyze the following figure. When we define vowel sounds, we said that they are sounds in which there is little or no obstruction to the flow of air as it passes from the lungs up to the mouth. So the following figure, obviously enough, refers to or represents an open mouth. Now let's make use of the quadrilateral figure and put it above this figure. And by doing so, the picture becomes clear for you. For the representation of vowels on our quadrilateral figure, 2 points must be taken into consideration. The first point is the horizontal axis and the second point is the vertical axis. Let's talk about the horizontal axis first. When the horizontal axis is taken into consideration, this point here, sure enough, will refer to the front part of the mouth, and this one here, this point refers to the central part, and the last one here refers to the back part of the mouth. The vertical axis actually refers to tongue height. So with that being said, if I raise my tongue up to this point, then what I'm doing is closing my mouth. But if I raise my tongue up to this point, then my tongue is in a mid-close position. And similarly, if the tongue is raised up to this point here, then the tongue is in a mid-open position. Whereas if the tongue is in this particular position, then my mouth in this case is open. In conclusion, if we move away everything with the exception of our quadrilateral figure, then the final result is like this. That would be all for this lesson. In the next lesson, we will discuss thoroughly the description of the vowel sounds.